What's up, everybody? Back at you again with another UPS related video. I wanted to do a quick follow-up to my last video talking about how delivery drivers are now being required, well, actually not required completely, but prompted to at least take a picture when we make a delivery. So if we make a delivery to a front door, for example, it prompts us to take a picture, which I'm guessing kind of just shows that we actually delivered where we say we delivered it. So I kind of understand it, but at the same time, I think it's kind of silly, but let's just talk about it. It's funny, when I made that video though, I was pretty sure that we were like the first ones to get this feature and to be, pushing it out and everything here in the United States. But people from other countries, Ireland and Canada, for example, Germany, I think was chiming in. They've been doing this for months, so I had no idea. But I think it's really interesting that UPS, which is a U.S. based company, would roll this out in other countries before they would roll it out here. I don't know if it's just because the U.S. is a different can of worms in terms of privacy issues or whatever it is. But maybe it's just a network issue. For example, here in the United States, our Dyad 6, we had to kind of rush into it because our government, I think, was buying up the lease on the old communications, like the 2 and 3G networks. The cell phone companies were no longer going to be able to use those frequencies to provide service. So UPS was kind of forced into rolling out this new dyad much quicker than they wanted to. It wasn't ready, which is exactly why there were so many glitches and issues, and why I started posting some of these videos to begin with, because it was just such a mess. But now here we are taking pictures when we make a delivery, and today was the first day that I did it. And I have to say, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It's not taking much, if any, more time for me to do it. Supposedly, and my supervisor said this morning at the PCM that there is a time allowance that's being added to our paid day for this new picture taking feature. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, what are they going to add, like 0.001 seconds to our day for every photo we take? I don't know if it really matters, but yeah, so here I was taking pictures, and it really wasn't that big of a deal. But I can already see some updates that I would like to happen, which probably won't happen. But so the thing is, all right, so you can pretty easily take the picture as you're dropping off the package. It's not that big of a deal. In fact, you'll get into a flow with it a little bit. You can actually hit the picture button on the screen before you drop the picture, before you drop the package, because it takes about a second before it takes the picture. So I felt like I was getting in the habit of hitting the photo button, putting the package down on the ground, and then it would take the picture about the right time, and then I would just be on my way. So it went pretty quick. What I don't like about it is how it uses the rear camera on the dyad. There's actually cameras. If I can show you. So there's a camera on the rear right here. That's the camera it's using to take the picture, which is fine, I guess. But it would make a little more sense in terms of the way you're holding it and everything, if we would use the camera that's right there, that already uses to scan the packages and whatnot. But maybe that's a a limitation in terms of megapixels or something like that. But for me, I think it would be better if it took the picture off the front, and it would be just like very similar to us just scanning the package, the same kind of angle and everything. We could just take the picture. That's a pet peeve, I guess. They're probably not going to change that. Another thing I don't like is that to take the picture, you actually have to push the screen. Like there's a fake button on the screen that you have to touch to take the picture. I wish that we could just hit the scan button to take the picture. That would make a lot more sense to me. Or not just one or the other, but both, right? Like give us the option to hit the one on the screen if we want to do it that way, or hit the scan button and it could take the picture that way. I think that would be an improvement. Because as is right now, you go to hit the scan button during this process when the photo section is up, and it doesn't do anything. You can't scan packages when it's on the photo screen. So you might as well just make that button another option to take the picture, right? I mean, it makes sense to me, but who am I? What else? That's really about it. I mean, the diet, I guess, is just barely to the point now where I guess we're not really having to restart it anymore. I don't know about you guys, but it's gotten a lot better. But I still do have to restart it about almost once a day. It seems like it does get it bugged up a little bit, and then if it's beneficial to restart it. But there have been days where I haven't restarted it and I got through the day, but then it seems to be kind of slow and like I wish I had. So I think it's interesting that they're adding new features like this. That's a data-rich feature. Taking pictures, submitting the picture over the wireless networks and that kind of stuff is just another thing that's going to potentially, gum it up and slow it down. But I guess it worked fine for the most part. I don't know that it's really making the diode, perform any worse than it already does. But you're probably still going to have to restart your diode every once in a while, or maybe, a little more now. I'm not sure. But in general, guys, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to or not. I can't remember the training, but half the time I've got really long arms. I'm like a tall dude. Half the time I found myself just holding the package in front of me with like the doorway behind and just taking the picture while it's in my hand, like just showing it's right here at your front door. And then half the time it was like a little bit too big or whatever, and I would set it on the ground and I would take the picture right then. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. I think this isn't being rolled out to the U.S. I'm guessing for another couple weeks. My center, they said, and I guess in a way it's true, that we're a test center for this feature. But maybe it's just we're a test center for the United States, or maybe it's that we're just a test center for California. I don't know. I had no idea. Again, everybody else around the world has already been doing it for a little while. I hadn't heard. Anyhow, yeah. So the reasoning. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit. I kind of think it's a silly, redundant thing to have to do. Like I kind of get it. It's not that hard to take a picture at the front door when you deliver something, or the gate or whatever it is. It's really not that big of a deal. But what's the point, right? Let's talk about like what's the reasoning behind why they're having us do it. I think it's probably more to do with claims. They want to, I mean, UPS is horrible about paying out claims anyway, right? But I think this just gives them another tool, another reason to not pay a claim. When they can look and see that the picture shows, they got the GPS already showing that we were at the right spot. And then the picture is going to be tied with that GPS as well, showing that it was delivered right there at the front door. I mean, there's really no arguing against that, with the customer. They're going to be like, okay, yeah, it was there. But the thing is, it's like we could take a picture of the package at the front door and then we can still take it. You know what I mean? Like the driver can take it. It can still get stolen. Like there's all sorts of things that can still happen. Just because, a picture shows it was at the front door doesn't mean that it was actually delivered at all, really. Maybe for a second, but that doesn't mean much. But I do think this is more to do with claims and stuff, because let's talk about it. Like, I think now we're at the point, or at least here in the United States, where almost everybody in this area, at least, has like a Ring doorbell camera, or some kind of security system. And I think most customers already know when we deliver a package, and they already see the package that we delivered because they have, security system. They have security cameras. They have a Ring doorbell that gives them a notification that somebody was there, and then they just look on their phone and they see the package just sitting there. It's like, so I think the people that want this feature, the people that want to know when their package was delivered and they want to physically see it at their front door or their gate or whatever it is, they kind of already do. They kind of already have that set up on their phone or whatever it is. So I don't know. I think UPS doing this now is kind of silly. I kind of get, why Amazon started doing it years ago. But at this point, I mean, you can easily get a Ring doorbell or some kind of a, security doorbell for cheap, and you can have this feature which is even better than what we do. You can see a live view, from your phone and see that the package is still there like 2 hours later or whatever it is. Us to take a quick little picture while we're there, I mean, I guess it is what it is. Again, I think it has more to do with claims. So the more I think about it, the more I think it has to do with UPS just wanting to save money and not pay claims. What do you guys think? That's my thoughts on it. It's, again, not a big deal for us to take a picture while we're there, assuming, the diode doesn't freeze up or something. And so far today, my first day, that really wasn't much of an issue. I think it's not that big of a deal. But I think this has more to do with claims and UPS just trying to kind of, save money on that front. I guess that's it, guys. That's my update. It wasn't that bad. It's not so terrible. I mean, the more packages we have to deliver, the more of an inconvenience it'll be, I guess. And now that I think about it, I had a couple deliveries where, in the past, I didn't always bring the diode with me to the front door. For example, if I had like a big bulky thing, I would just scan it in the truck, leave the diode in the truck, walk it over there, so I didn't have to fiddle with the diode and just leave it at the front door or whatever. Or there was many times, and there still are times where, let me talk about that too, where you might have multiple deliveries at an apartment or neighbors' houses or whatever, and I would scan everything at the truck, and then I would hurry up and run them off and not have to worry about scanning in between houses and that kind of stuff. I don't like having to scan while I'm walking around if I don't have to. I don't want to trip on something. I don't want to fall on something. So in that regard, I think adding another thing that we have to do, taking a picture, potentially is going to have a couple more injuries on UPS drivers. They're going to trip on something or fall on something because they're not going to see something. They're going to be filling with the diode trying to take a picture and that kind of thing. So there's that. What was my point? Oh, now I kind of forgot the point. Oh well, I forgot. But yeah. Oh, I remember now. So you don't actually have to take a picture. So it's kind of just a courtesy thing, I think, that we're doing too, because you can, when you get to that photo screen, after you hit, for example, that you're delivering it to the front door, it then brings up the camera, and then you can either take a picture or you can hit the back button right on the top left of the screen. You can go back and you can essentially just proceed without taking the picture at all. So it's not forcing you to do it, but it's trying to get you to do it. I'm assuming eventually it's going to force you to do it, or maybe maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they want to have the option to not take a picture because we're going to have some customers that don't want us to take a picture of their front yard or their front door or any of that kind of stuff. And that's where I think it's kind of a gray area where there's like privacy issues with customers and stuff. It's like taking a picture of their front door or anywhere on their property is kind of a weird thing. And I can see how some customers wouldn't want us to do that. But now that UPSCs, FedEx, and Amazon have gotten away with doing it for a few years now, they're just like, okay, well, I guess we'll add it. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. But in general, yeah, it's not that big of a deal as far as our job and how long it takes. I just think it's another thing that I don't really see the point in doing. I really don't think it benefits the customer much at all, and it's just like another feature that doesn't mean that much. It's just like, it's technology. It's like we can add it and we do it because we think we're just trying to keep up with the Joneses, I guess. But I don't see a big benefit in it. So it is what it is. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think I've rambled my mouth off long enough here. I got to get back to work. But that's it. I just wanted to give an update. It's not that big of a deal, but it's not that big of a deal either in terms of what good it does. So let me know what you guys think. You guys have been doing it for years. Not years, but months, I should say. Or maybe some of you Amazon and FedEx guys have been doing it for years. Chime in. Let me know. Have you had any issues with customers in terms of taking pictures on their property? Have you had anybody get fired for taking pictures that they weren't supposed to? That kind of stuff. I want to hear, because this is kind of a new thing and it's kind of gray area. So I want to hear from you guys. Let me know. And yeah, so everyone else here, I guess in the US or at least in California, it's coming to a dyad near you soon. So heads up. All right, guys, have a good day. I'll read those comments and let me know how it goes. Take care. Bye.